Right. We're back. Here we are. Hey, welcome to another edition of the Simple Live Virtual Cooking Class. My name's Chef Brian Curley, and today I'm going to do a live step by step breakdown of a new high protein dish that I created last week. It's a delicious, healthy entree. I want you to learn how to cook it, and I think you're going to love it. And then after that, I want to share a special offer I created to give you the tools you need right at your fingertips to reach the full potential of your cooking abilities without going to culinary school or slaving away in a kitchen like I did for many years. First, before that, let's talk about what Simple is and how you can use it to break the cycle of unhealthy eating choices. So, Simple stands for Science Integrated Meal Prep Lab. Now, I have a slightly different approach to meal prep than most people do who work in fitness. I've been a chef here in San Diego for many years running seasoned catering. And in that time, I've tested hundreds of healthy recipes using good quality ingredients, recipes that my customers have really enjoyed for many years. Um, Now, I think that a lot of people have the wrong idea about healthy meal prep. They think that deciding to eat nutritious food means somehow giving up the flavors that they crave. And there's this notion that if you're going to live a healthy lifestyle, then your eating options are automatically going to suck. And you know what? I just don't think that's the case. One thing that I found after cooking professionally for 21 years now is that you don't need a ton of sugar and fat to make delicious food that you get excited to eat. What you need is to practice the techniques that chefs have been using for hundreds of years to transform raw ingredients into the mouth-watering flavors that you really look forward to eating. That's what you need. So now I want to share with you this dish that I created last Saturday, and I sent a description of it in an email to my Simple subscribers on Saturday. And right now we're going to do a quick breakdown of this dish so you can see it live. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and then we're going to head over to the YouTube machine. There it is. Right. Now we're at the end, so we're going to start at the beginning. Here we are. So this dish is called sweet gochujang salmon with crispy rice and bok choy. Let's crack into it. 41 grams of protein, 765 calories. So we're going to start with our 5 fillets of sockeye salmon, and I use the skin-on fillets of salmon. You could use skin off if you prefer, but I get nice results when I sear the fish with the skin on. You get that skin nice and crispy. It's got a ton of flavor. I actually think that the crispy salmon skin tastes better than the salmon flesh itself. That's my opinion. So we got our fillets ready to go. We got a hot saute pan. We're going to put a couple tablespoons of oil in there and get it nice and hot. And before I go to the next step, I just want to share one detail about when you season the fish. Sometimes what people do is they season it too early with salt, and the moisture gets drawn out of the flesh and it sort of pools on the surface. And then what happens is when it hits the hot pan, that moisture causes the fish to stick to the pan, and then you have a tough time like prying it off the pan. So the way to prevent that is to get the pan very hot with oil in there, nice and smoking hot first, and then right before the fish goes in the pan, then you season it with salt, and that way it doesn't have time for that moisture to get drawn out. So season on both sides, and then we'll put it in the pan. And what I'm going to do here is I have 5 fillets of salmon that I need to cook, but since I want to get the best results, I'm not going to crowd the pan with all 5 fillets at once. I'm just going to cook the first two at a time, finish those, set them aside, and then cook the next three. And that way, That way, the heat is more evenly distributed, and the temperature of the oil in the pan doesn't drop because we're trying to cook too much food at once. So the first two, and then the last three. So after about a minute or so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently press down on the salmon fillets with a fish spatula, and that's going to allow the skin to crisp up more evenly, so you don't get those like bubbles of exploded salmon skin. You get a nice, more even texture on the fish. So just press it down for a few seconds with the fish spatula gently. After about 2 or 3 minutes, once the skin is crispy, we're going to flip it and cook it for one more minute on the other side. We're going to take them out, set them aside on a plate, and then we're going to cook the other three fillets. Once those are done, they'll all be together. And we're going to move on to the next step, which is the crispy rice. Now, for this crispy rice, we're going to keep the same pan on the heat. We're going to add some more oil to it, and then we're going to use actually, might be surprised, this dish uses leftover steamed rice. And I use leftover rice instead of freshly steamed rice because after it's been sitting in the refrigerator for about a day, it dries off just enough to allow it to get crispy in the pan and gives it a much nicer texture compared to fresh rice. So you're going to see what I mean here. And we still have all the flavor of the cooked salmon in that pan as well. And the rice is going to absorb the flavor of that cooked salmon. It's going to taste really nice. So all the rice goes in the pan, and then we're kind of going to pack it down a bit, and it's going to become sort of a rice cake in the pan. We're going to pack down the edges with a spatula, and the bottom of it's going to get nice and crispy as it cooks for about 10 to 12 minutes on medium heat. Next step, take the pan off the heat, and I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to take a sheet pan, and we're going to put the sheet pan on top of the cooked rice, and we're going to invert it. And what's going to happen is, as we turn it upside down, it's going to fall out onto the sheet pan, and then the crispy surface is going to be on the top. And there you have it. That's our crispy rice. So we're going to get that saute pan clean again, add some more oil, put it on the heat, and we're going to brown some garlic. Now we're going to cook the bok choy. This is a kind of like a Chinese cabbage. We're going to steam this bok choy with some mirin, which is rice wine, and a bit of salt. We're going to steam it covered for about 4 minutes total. And halfway through, we're gonna turn it onto the other side. It's gonna cook nice and evenly. We'll cook it to about al dente, not all the way soft. I like to have a little bit of texture to it. And we're gonna set it aside on a sheet pan after it's cooked al dente. Like I said, about 4 minutes. And make sure you take all that remaining liquid and pour it over the top to preserve all that nice flavor. Next, we're gonna make our sauce. So in a saucepan on medium heat, we have some gochujang, which is a Korean condiment, some maple syrup, and some rice vinegar and some salt. We're going to whisk that up, cook it for about 3 minutes, let it reduce just a bit, and then we'll take it off the heat. Once it's off the heat, we're going to whisk in some butter, give it a nice rich texture, delicious sauce for our salmon. Pretty simple, only 4 or 5 ingredients in that sauce, a lot of flavor. So now we're ready to plate our dish. We got our meal prep containers. We're going to put the bok choy on first, and then the crispy rice alongside it. We'll put our seared salmon fillets right on top, and then finish with the sauce on top of the salmon. And that is it. Only 11 ingredients in this dish. Not that many, which definitely makes it a lot simpler to cook. So there you have it, sweet gochujang salmon with crispy rice and bok choy. I hope you guys like that. I'm gonna bring it back to the regular screen here, and we're back. So today, Tuesday, is Christmas Eve. Pretty soon it's going to be the new year. Pretty exciting. Which is the best time to decide to take your nutrition back into your own hands. Good time to decide to make a new commitment for 2025. Unless you can afford a personal chef, you're going to be at the mercy of whatever's convenient, whatever you're craving when it comes to eating lunch, eating dinner. Um, when you know how to cook like a chef using real nutritious ingredients, basically you can take back your power from corrupt food industry and remove yourself from a system that doesn't serve you anymore. So that's exactly where you're going to learn when you become a simple insider. When you become a premiums member for just $19 a month, you're not getting a cookbook that you're going to read once and leave on a shelf to collect dust. It's not like that. Excuse me. Basically, you're getting a set of online tools that that you're going to use to become nutritionally self-reliant, so you can permanently end junk food cravings and quit sabotaging your metabolism, essentially. So, so head over to my website right now, become a premium member, and get a head start on supporting your health naturally in 2025. Excuse me. So, when you become an insider, basically you're going to be light years ahead of everyone else, almost everyone else at the gym, when it comes to supporting your body's nutritional needs. So, here's what you're going to get. Each week, you're going to get a written breakdown of a new high protein dish that I create and share with my readers. Each week, I go into detail about a subject that's going to help you become a more skilled, confident home cook. Now, that's available to all my readers, the free subscribers and the insiders. But I save the most important info for paid subscribers. The Simple Insider section is where you get the full step by step written recipe, which includes the ingredients and the quantities you need so your dish comes out perfect. No extra guesswork. Now, after I shoot the video of me cooking the dish, I taste it and I adjust the quantities of the ingredients. So when you make the dish at home, it's going to turn out perfectly because it's already tested. It'll turn out perfectly if you follow the written directions. Now, you're also going to get the full length video that's unlisted on YouTube. So only simple insiders have the link. You can watch each step on your phone while you're cooking it. So your video looks the same as mine if that's how you want it to turn out. You're also going to get the links to buy all the ingredients online through Amazon Fresh. So you can save an hour or more of shopping and get all the ingredients delivered right to your house. That way you don't have to drive to the store, push a shopping cart, go through the checkout line, and drive back home. You save all that hassle. You don't have to do it. You just click the links that I provide you, get all the ingredients delivered. You're going to save a ton of time by just skipping that shopping trip. In addition to that, when you become a simple insider, you're going to get a free resource that will show you how to use a chef's knife safely, so you can cut with confidence. It's a video I made called Knife Skills Mastery. And once you practice these basic techniques with a knife, you're going to feel like a professional in the kitchen. You're going to have a big advantage. And you're also going to cook faster because you'll feel more confident using a knife. And you're also going to get access to my weekly Q&A session starting next year. That's exclusively for simple insiders. So you can ask me any question you have about cooking. For example, if I didn't explain something well enough in the recipe in this session, then you can ask me on the weekly Zoom session right after this main video, and I will do my best to explain it directly to you. So here's what I want you to do. If you haven't joined Simple Insider yet, head over to cooksimple.beehive.com/upgrade. I'm going to show you right now. So here, you see three options to subscribe. Now, the one on the left, the free option, only includes the basic features. But you'll get all the tools I just described when you choose either the monthly or the annual paid subscription. Now, most people choose the monthly subscription because You get all these features for the first month for free. And if you like the subscription, you can keep it for just $19 a month. If it's not for you, you cancel before the month is up and you pay nothing. So, if you've ever thought, hey, maybe now is the time that I take cooking seriously once and for all, or hey, maybe I should do a better job of setting myself up with meals for the week, so I'm not asking like, "What's for dinner?" every night. um, or hey, maybe you've already got a meal prep routine, but you're getting tired of cooking the same 3 or 4 dishes. Then I encourage you to click the link in the video description and become a Simple Insider today. I get feedback from Simple Insiders all the time. So they're actually excited to eat their own creations now. Now that they're inspired to cook the simple way. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it was helpful for you, inspirational. Maybe you want to get back in the kitchen. That's all I got for you this week. I will see you next Tuesday at 3 p.m. for the next simple virtual cooking class. Thank you so much for joining me.